Have to get gorgeous.
Yeah, you're kind of scary right now, actually. You need to definitely brush your hair.
Does that look semi-acceptable?
From the front, it's not too bad.
Hey friends, you're watching Brainstorm Acres. I'm Henry.
And I'm Irene.
We're doing something a little different. We're in the throes of getting ready for a Thanksgiving visitor.
Right. We actually have company coming for Thanksgiving.
First time in
14 years.
14 years?
14 years. Think about how old Cam was when they were here.
Yeah, it was probably about then, yeah.
Yeah. So first family for Thanksgiving in 14 years. And that's another issue about living out in the middle of nowhere.
Nobody wants to come visit.
Yeah. I mean, it's just too long a haul for most people. And then it's kind of like the place that we rented in western Pennsylvania with my sister. We read one of the reviews afterwards that said that they hadn't shown us at the beginning, that said if you're looking for a place where you can go places and do things and this and that and the other thing that involved, like, you know, nightclubs, nice restaurants, places like that, this is not it. Well, this is not it. I mean, we now have one decent restaurant in town. I have to admit, I have never ever been to the bar. It is a dive bar.
Well, you don't know something about the bar that I know something about.
Oh, what?
It's being sold.
Ah, okay.
Well, they're trying to sell it.
Right. Well, let me put it this way. I gave up dive bars when I graduated from college.
Yeah, that's about when.
Yeah. I mean, we used to go to dive bars all the time in college. I mean, you know, there was the in New Mexico, there was the Cowboy Bar, there was the College Bar, there was the Thunderbird, which is where I worked, which was more tourists.
It was the town's upper elite.
Yeah, that's where you saw the you know, we always used to joke about, you know, the mayor and the chief doctor in town and the this and the that. They were all there.
The only guy who didn't show up was the chief of police.
I guess he didn't, come to think of it. No, he didn't.
I never saw him at a bar in town anywhere.
Right, well.
Well, enough of reminiscing about old bars.
The good old days with dive bars, yeah. No, you know, I mean, this is not the place to come if you want that kind of entertainment.
Well, we have things to entertain ourselves, like fixing things.
Right.
Like installing brand new Chinese diesel heaters
Right.
that came with Chinglish instructions that weren't right to begin with. And I fretted over trying to follow those instructions just in case. This is a really simple machine, but sometimes the simple things can really get you balled up.
Well, it got to the point,
Pardon me.
It got to the point where it was like, I didn't even want to, I was just kind of leaving him alone and trying to get my own work done, because it's like, if I get balled up in what's going on with him and the frustrations of that, I'm not getting anything done. And this is Christmas season for me, so I need to be working.
Well, so we had a bunch of things going on. We had a lot of cleanup in the house because we had just come back from a camping event for Irene's business. Everything from that event was in the house.
Right, because we reorganize after each event, and it was a little messier than usual. There were a couple of people who asked me to hold things for them on the chance that they would come back, and they didn't, and that's fine.
Well, they'd actually planned to come back, so it wasn't that it was.
I don't know what was up, you know, but it doesn't make any difference. You can't take that kind of stuff personally. But the basic thing was things got out of place even more than they usually would have. And then we had a lot going on when we got home, so I didn't get the stuff done quite as quickly as I usually would have. And yeah, so it's just, I still have, there's boxes all over the place. We just kind of stacked them up and said, don't look at those.
Pay no attention to the boxes behind the camera.
Yeah, exactly. So, so what we actually wanted to chat about a little bit today was things that you don't think about when you move out to the country in terms of getting things repaired. We were following a family in North Carolina that they had a place there. The reason I found them originally is she did a huge amount of preserving. So she had a huge pantry, and yeah, they were preppers. I mean, they made no bones about the fact that they were preppers. in all the good and negative senses of the imagination. She had actually been through a natural disaster in Tibet.
Yeah, and she had some money in her pocket. Not a whole lot, but no way to get out of the town she was in, no way to get to an airport.
Right.
The buildings were all rubble.
Right, and fortunately, the place that she wound up staying, she was staying, didn't fall down.
She got lucky.
She got lucky, but there was civil unrest. The family protected her by making everybody think she wasn't there, and then he got her to the airport by sticking her on the back of his motorcycle. And she said, I gave him every dime I had in my pocket when I left, because she felt like she owed him their life, which she did. But that kind of drove them into that mindset of always be prepared. And we originally followed them when they had a place that it was just a regular semi-suburban almost place there, but it was a decent-sized piece of property. Then they started to have problems with neighbors because they wanted to have goats and they wanted to have chickens and stuff. And we're not talking about like a tiny little postage stamp like you get in town. It had acreage, but there were apparently, I don't know whether they had an HOA or what they had, just local laws in terms of zoning that prohibited goats and chickens and everything else. So they wound up with one problem after another, and they wound up selling the place, and they wanted to buy a place and build the homestead of their dreams, basically. And we chatted with them a few times online, and they're like, oh, well, it won't be a problem. We'll be able to get a contractor, this, that, the other thing. And 2 years later, no contractor.
They are the general contractors on their own place. And that's exactly what we did here.
Yeah.
For similar reasons.
Yeah, at the time, you could not get a contractor, a licensed general contractor, to come into our area. It just doesn't make sense for them financially. I mean, not that they're being mean or anything or lazy or something like that, but the market was not flat at the time. I mean, if it had been one of those moments when the housing market was totally dead, they might have come out here. But even then, where are they going to get employees? They're going to have to bring their employees with them. They're not going to want to camp.
Wrap this up pretty quick because our guests are about to arrive.
Oh, cool. Anyway, so we wound up being our own general contractors. We managed to find a couple of people to do some work for us that's more specialized, like laying tile and stuff like that. We hired over the course of the construction, we did 99% of the plumbing.
Did all the electrical.
All the electrical. The only plumbing we didn't do is we had one guy who was a professional do some of the soldering, because we had some copper for the hot water heater.
Right.
The other guy that we hired, who was a licensed plumber, we have had to redo every single thing he did in here because everything leaked. Everything. Yes?
That's going to be all over our show.
That's okay. Anyway, but everything leaked that he did. And we didn't call him back because I had to wait forever for him to get here. And then when he finally got here, he screwed it up.
Yeah, he was supposed to be here when I was here. He didn't show up.
Yeah.
He showed up when I was out of town.
Right.
And I think he just took advantage of the situation. But at the end of it all, when you live further out, it's harder to find people to come out and help.
Right.
Well, earlier this week, I mentioned that I had a problem with a range. Well, I got a hold of the authorized repair center that the people, I think that they're in India actually, on their call center. They gave me one location in all of northern Arizona. And those people, as I mentioned, were quite rude. And they weren't going to come, and I'm not up to taking a 660-pound range, putting it in the back of the
box truck and hauling.
Right, so, but today I got a hold of somebody else at the company, and they gave me a different supplier. Now I have to wait to find out, are they willing to come out? I don't know.
Right now, they're supposed to get back to us on that one. We said, well, look, we don't have a problem with a trip fee. 14 years ago, when we had some repair work done, it cost us $60 every time the guy came out.
And now it's at least $100. And you know what? I'm not going to bat an eye. I don't
just want it done.
I don't like spending the money, but there's things that I can do and I will do. But one thing I can't do is diagnose a problem without schematics.
Yeah.
And there is one gas control on the range that we sometimes have difficulty turning off, so we don't use it. And we haven't used it for quite a while because trying to get somebody to come out was just too difficult.
Yeah.
So I have some hopes that either this fellow will come out or we'll get a referral to somebody else who will come out.
Right, right. It's just one of those things. I mean, in the olden days, when Sears Roebuck was around,
And that's the company that went out of business. The entire chain went out of
Right.
business.
Sears was the place that everyone out here bought their appliances from, because Sears would send repair guys out here. They said, you have a warranty, you have an extended warranty, great, we'll come out. Their attitude was, you paid for it, you get it. And they're the only group that I know of that has that attitude.
Well, had it.
That attitude, and of course they're gone now. So now in the olden days, before that, I remember talking to Mr. Fairs and a couple of other people, and they're like, you threw it in the back of the pickup truck and you took it down and you did without it until they could get it fixed. You know?
Well, this range can't exactly go in the back of a pickup. It's
A big pickup it could.
it's a 4-person move.
Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't be able to pick it up into the pickup, but once you got it there, the pickup will be fine.
And then getting it out the other end is another
Yeah.
problem. So,
Yeah.
fortunately, we have a lift gate on our box truck, and in a pinch, if I had to,
Yeah.
and I could find 3 guys to help me move it, or 4 guys to move it for us, we could do it.
Right. He's watching because we know our guests are coming.
They're less than 5 minutes away.
Yeah. Anyway, it's just something to think about. If you're planning to build in an area, can you get repair work done? Can you get an electrician out? When we had problems with the install on the mini split that we have in the bedroom, it took like 3 months. I mean, summer was basically over by the time we were able to get the guy out there to fix it.
Well, the problem was that I needed to replace a couple of connections on the unit.
Right.
And they were non-standard. They were from...
They were from China.
Yes, they were. They're perfectly standard in China, but getting an adapter to go from that fitting to anything metric or in the U.S.
Right.
SAE was impossible.
So they needed to have replacements on some stuff, and we just didn't have the technology to do that. We understood what needed to be done. It was just a matter of having the right equipment to do it.
Well, I have everything to pump it down and fill it up and do all those things, but you need to have some current skills with silver soldering, that kind of fitting together to make it not
Right.
leak.
And when the guy did come out, I mean, it was done like that, no problem.
Well, you know what?
What?
We're going to stop talking because we got to go make sure the gate's open.
Yep. So just think about it.
Think twice about it.
You think more than twice about it. And if you have, say we called for propane the other day, they don't deliver out here every week. They'll be here at the very end of the month, like the 28th, 29th.
Well, it'd be 28th, right?
Yeah. So you can't wait till the last minute.
Same goes for water.
Same goes for water. You know, and you're on your own for gas. You have to you know, go get your own fuel for the generators and stuff like that. Nobody delivers that kind of stuff. So it's just something to think about. To be aware that, you know, you don't get the kind of service here that you would someplace else.
Well, it's definitely not in the city.
No. Well, and it can be hard enough in the city when you have something break and it's really broken to get a plumber or something. And so if you could imagine adding to that the fact that they're going to have to drive 50 miles.
Yeah, it doesn't work out too well.
No. So that's why you do your own plumbing.
And it's time to say goodbye, Irene.
It is. So be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell because obviously there's going to be lots going on. Maybe we'll even show you a picture of our turkey this week. Woo.
It's not gobbling, it's busy chilling.
It's defrosting, actually.
Thanks for watching. We'll talk with you later.
Bye. Oh, and don't forget to keep brainstorming because obviously we have to.